What's going on, YouTube? Rukari back with another episode of the Minotaur Hotel in some manner of enchanted-ish looking forest. The light plays through the verdant leaves above, casting flickering shadows along the forest path. To either side, trees sway in the light breeze, whispering their secrets to each other, and the traveler passing under their mighty boughs. Looks like we're getting a new guest in the hotel, maybe? Interesting. It's kind of like a deer oriental dragon. Like a kitten. Put a picture on the screen of a kitten. The dragon hums a quiet, simple tune to himself, his deep rumbling bass a counterpoint to the rustling of the leaves above. Oh fuck, am I gonna have to speak in a deep rumbling bass? I can't go that low! Through his travels during these long, lonely years, he's come to appreciate the sounds of the world around him. He's learned how to tune himself into them, letting them flow around him like the river from which he was born. They are his companions, constant and dependable. They fill the silence. They bring peace to his mind and heart during his long, seemingly endless search. I'm guessing this is gonna be my new, bartender type fellow when I was picking the type of hotel I wanted. As he walks, his humming trailing off as the wind dies down, he reaches into the bag slung over one shoulder and pulls out a plastic bottle of water. His deft, clawed fingers quickly unscrew the cap, and he tips it back to let the life-bringing substance pour into his waiting maw. See, this is where I would have expected you to have a reusable water bottle, maybe something glass or metal. Plastics just seems out of character for a creature as yourself. It never ceases to amaze him how many conveniences like this had popped up over the years. When he had first started his journey in the land of his birth, clean, fresh water like this was an almost sacred commodity, something to be rationed out and stretched to the last little drop. Now it could be bought at a pittance. His thoughts turned to the young man at the store in the small town he'd left earlier that morning, who had insisted on packing his bag full of water bottles and snacks for the road. Richard was his name, and he was the co-owner, along with his wife, of the hiking supplies outpost where the dragon had spent the last few days. He worked, and they provided food and shelter. That was the agreement, similar to ones he had struck all along the winding road behind him. Interesting, we've got just a nomadic dragon fellow stopping at hiking outposts, working his way through life. He's the true wanderlust. The true essence of wanderlust. And when the time had come for him to leave, as it always did, Richard had shaken his hand and patted his shoulder and wished him farewell like an old friend. A cherished friend. And yet, Richard was blissfully unaware of the simple fact his guest was not human. The charm he had kept hidden maintained a disguise of humanity. Gretchen, Richard's wife, and better half, the man had always said with a wide grin, had fussed over the dragon. A nice pair of hiking boots would do better than the old worn sandals on his feet, she'd argued. The dragon had only laughed. They'd done more than enough for him, and had both his gratitude and his blessing, before leaving the two of them waiting from the door of the shop. I can only imagine what a dragon's blessing would bring to your shop. He hadn't looked back to them. He never did. The dragon shakes himself out of his thoughts, caps his water bottle, and drops it into his bag. He has no time for reverie. By the shadows on the ground, it looks to be somewhere around late afternoon, and he has far longer to walk before the day is done. You're clearly looking back on them, though, now that I think about it, since you're reminiscing. His name is Kota, and he is a drifter. However, his travels are far from aimless. The dragon is searching for something dear to him that was lost a long time ago. Are you looking for the hotel? 'Cause I'm fixing that. As Kota wanders along the path, listening to the soft sounds of nature all around, his ears begin to pick up a quiet, familiar noise. As familiar as his own breathing. A river. I mean, water dragon's gonna water dragon. Before he can stop them, his feet take him to the source of the sound. He leaves the trail behind, slipping through the undergrowth and leaping over fallen logs with a sinuous agility that belies his size. Finally, the trees give way to the sight of a winding, burbling stream. It's shallow, but Kota doesn't mind. He steps out of his sandals and takes a seat on the riverbank to slip his tired feet into the rushing water. It's warm. So warm. Old, half-forgotten instincts fill his breast, making the dragon's breath hitch in his throat. It's been so long since he had a proper bath in a warm river like this, and the need to feel the water's embrace itches over his scales and pricks at the far corners of his languid mind. And there he goes. His yutaka, worn and smelling faintly of sweat and road dust, comes off first. Kota picks up the tune he was humming earlier as he folds the garment in his lap, over and over into a nice, neat bundle, and then carefully set aside on the soft grass. The dragon looks around for a moment, ensuring he's completely alone, and then unwinds his fundoshi from around his hips with the same practiced grace. Whoops! Can't show that in a Christian visual novel! Is this what happens when you take the underwear off of the Minotaur? Oh dear. He knows full well there's no shame in his nudity, but centuries of wandering the new world have allowed some modern sensibilities of modesty to rub off on him. None of it is helped by this age's law. You will get arrested for that. You will go to jail. There was a time when creatures like him were free to plainly wander the world of men. Nowadays, there are consequences to breaking the secret. Kota can't help a quick, shameful thrill down his spine as he bears himself, even with no one around to see him. I can see you. I'm here to suffer. Kota... Nonetheless, he keeps his clothes nearby, so he's within the charm's range. With a soft grunt and a half-hop, the dragon slips into the warm, flowing waters of the river. How do I make my voice low? Don't know what to do here. Oh good, there's a conveniently placed rock! That's exactly what I need, is a rock! As soon as the waters touch his scales, his muscles relax, and he sinks waist-deep into the river. The low sigh escapes his lip in a slow, lazy exhalation, and his maned head falls back to rest on the riverbank. He hadn't realized how bone-deep wary he'd become, but now with the rushing waters caressing and embracing him, he stills his mind for the first time in centuries. The warm currents feel familiar, like an old friend, an old lover, welcoming him to a home he'd left behind long ago. As he lounges against the riverbank, feeling the hard, smooth pebbles beneath and the swirling, flowing river enfolding him, Kota grasps at that familiarity. He allows his mind to wander, along with his hands. Okay, not quite what I was thinking. Good, we're safe. Over his shoulders and across his chest, his claws picking at the ridges between his scales. Down to his belly, across his sides and hips, his thighs. I don't. I'm not reading that. Pensive thoughts in the thing where he hates of his meditation. Nope. 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 I'm just gonna pretend that whole section didn't happen. A half-remembered poem flickers through the dragon's mind as his hands scrub away the dust and sweat of his journey. Oh, I wish I could do an Uncle Iroh voice. I like to wash the dust of this world in the droplets of dew. With dewdrops dripping, I wish somehow I could wash this perishing world. His breath gusts out of his nostrils as his hands fall to his sides. The river takes over, stroking his scales and limbs with its current, its comfort a pale echo of what the dragon longs for. Won't you come and see, loneliness, just one leaf from the kiri tree? Basho, right? Oh dear. Kota's eyes snap open as his head turns. He didn't hear anyone approach, and yet there stands a man by the tree line. Sorry to sneak up on you like that. You don't mind some company, do you? Sounds like you could use it. No. I don't mind at all. Please. The dragon schools his face into a welcoming smile and gestures the man forward with a languid wave. For a moment, Kota is worried that his nakedness might embarrass his impromptu guest, but the man settles comfortably on the riverbank nearby. The dragon scoots closer to his discarded clothes. Sorry again. I've been walking all day and my feet are killing me. The stranger kicks his shoes off with a long sigh and then slips his feet into the water, much like Kota did earlier, downstream from the dragon, which makes Kota smile as he gives the man a nod. Believe me, I do not blame you at all. I myself have only stopped here for a moment's rest. It's a nice place that you found, even if it's only to rest for a moment. Where are you headed from here, if you don't mind me asking? This guy's weird. He looks like modern-day Gaston. Oh, here and there. I'm more of a wanderer, you see. And you, The dragon looks to the stranger with a polite but expectant expression. In my new clothing, I feel so different, I must look like someone else. Ah, a fellow fan of Matsuo-sensei's works, I see. That's right, my friends call me Jean. I was making a delivery, but I got just a little bit lost. The man rubs at the back of his head with an embarrassed laugh, and Kota lets out a soft chuckle. But it's when we are lost that we are most easily able to find ourselves. Of course, it's easier when we have some help. I'd be glad to lead you back to the road, Jean-san. Thank you, Mr. Sumimasen. I am Kota. Japanese dragon. Japanese naked dragon. This is awkward. Well, it's good to meet you, Kota, and your help would be really appreciated. The man offers his hand with a wide smile, and Kota turns to shake John's hand as he's grown used to doing with everyone he meets. However, he can't stop himself from giving John a short half bow from his sitting position. Pardon me if I'm assuming, but you're from Japan, yes? You spoke Japanese words, after all. Hi, that's right. Oh, he was saying EA earlier, not I'm an idiot. He was saying no, EA. I'm so stupid. Hi, that's right. It's been a long journey from the lands of my home, but I have enjoyed the wandering. It is marvelous to see new sights, is it not? Like this river. The dragon gestures to the idyllic landscape surrounding them, the rushing, chuckling water, and the wind through the trees singing a soft, gentle song. The large boughs overhead providing shade while allowing diamonds of sunlight to sparkle on the flowing surface of the river, the cool grass on the river's edge. I made my home in such an unspoiled river long ago. Untarnished nature holds special significance to me. You and I may be the only ones to have seen this place in years. See how untouched it is. Smell the freshness of the air. This is... we're just gonna keep talking. Not gonna put any pants on. Nope, not at all. Sean laughs. Well, you're certainly passionate, Kota. That's always good to see in a fellow traveler. I'm from Europe myself. Is that supposed to be Clement in his younger days? Even there, places like this are becoming a rarity, sadly, but there's still so much to see. It's why I became a delivery man, you see. I guess you could say that the wanderlust is in my blood. It seems you, too, are a long way from home. Jean-san, I'm sure you've gathered many stories in your journeys from place to place. Oh yes, more than enough for several lifetimes. I could tell you some of them while we walk, if you're ready to get going. The dragon rises to his feet, and the water flows down and off of his body like a silken robe. With a groan, Kota stretches and then climbs back up onto the riverbank, completely dry. Allow me a moment to get dressed, and then I will be prepared. I can't go freeballing it everywhere. And if you'd like, I have quite a few stories of my own travels that I can share with you as well. Sure. I'd like that very much. The two exchange glances and nods. A spark of understanding and acceptance flickers between Kota and Jean, the understanding of two fellow travelers sharing the road with each other. Great. Good, great, perfect. What more could I ask for? As the two men walk side by side, their conversation and laughter fills the air. Jean relates the story of a particularly difficult delivery up the side of a mountain, a trip that took the better part of 3 days. How are you delivering? Are you just, like, walking stuff through the woods in a modern-day polo shirt and messenger bag? What kind of delivery service is this? I don't get it. In return, Kota tells the man a story of all the places he's been and the sights he's seen. Forests much like this one, cities and towns, both ancient and modern. Even that one time with the rock slide, now that was quite the adventure. What did you do, get too frisky on top of Mount Fuji? Jean laughs as he claps the dragon on the shoulder. Amazing, you're really a well-versed traveler, aren't you? Leaps, eep, Well, I've been on the road for so long. Blech. No, hold on, I didn't speak words right, I can't read. Well, I've been on the road for so long that this has nearly become my home. Oh, I know how that feels. Sometimes when I'm on deliveries, it feels like the only thing I've ever known. Wait. The man's expression shifts as he looks around. Finally, his eyes light up in recognition. Oh, so that's how I got turned around. I think I can find my way from here, Kota. Thank you very much for your help. It was no trouble at all, Jean-san. However, before you go... You want to ask me something, don't you? Yeah, what the fuck are you doing here? Am I that easy to read? In any case, have you ever encountered, well, something that couldn't be explained? What do you mean by that? Ghosts, dragons, witches, demons, bold people, something like that. Well, it was quite a while ago. Back in Nihon, I once encountered something most peculiar during my travels. I have been looking for it ever since. It may sound impossible, but... From a spring of warm water, I saw something extraordinary. It was... a dragon? Kota clutches his charm. Hi. He has red scales, a shade darker than blood. So you have seen him. The man hems and haws for a long moment, scratching at his beard as he loses himself in deep thought. Kota holds his breath, his gaze locked onto Jean, until the man finally lets out a gusty sigh. I have come across many, shall we say, unique things across my travels. Few things can hope to surprise me. But... I'm sorry. I wish I could help you, but I haven't run into anything like that. I thought for sure he was gonna be the dragon. Oh. Well, I suppose it was a long shot. Thank you very much for your company, Jean-san. Good luck with your delivery. The dragon turns to follow the road, not looking back to Jean, as always, until the man calls out. Although... When Kota looks to the man, Jean is combing his fingers through his short beard. He hesitates for a moment, as though getting his thoughts together, and then nods. Yeah, it should be around here somewhere. What should? Oh, sorry, my friend. There's a hotel around these parts that just recently reopened. Achoo! Sorry, I had to sneeze there for some reason. There's a hotel around these parts that just recently reopened, and I was wondering if you wouldn't be able to find what you're looking for there. Hotel? You know, like an onsen. Minus the hot springs. Yes, I heard a few stories about that place. Supposedly it used to be the gathering place for an assortment of unique individuals and things. I'm sure there are a few travelers there already, people like you and me who are wandering around from place to place. I might not know where this thing you're looking for is, but... maybe one of them will? Kota considers the man's words. They ring true, and it would at least be a start, a better one than he's had in at least a century. Well, I will not know until I try, will I? Arigatou gozaimasu, Jean-san. Jean-san, I don't know. The dragon gives Jean a low bow, and the man laughs and waves the gesture away. It's the least I can do for a fellow traveler. Good luck, Kota, and I hope that you find what you are looking for. God dang it, now my nose is gonna be running because I sneezed. The two part ways, Jean to complete his delivery, and Kota to continue following the road, wherever it will take him. His eyes are on the horizon. the spot where Jean pointed when he mentioned the hotel. Perhaps there is someone there who will be able to help him. Someone who can give him some kind of lead or point him in the right direction to find what he's been seeking. Or maybe, like so many times before, Kota will find himself disappointed. They say that it's not the destination that matters, but the journey. In his long years of wandering, the dragon has grown envious of those who are able to believe those words. Yeah, the journey is something, but if you go too long without any kind of satisfaction, any kind of tangible results, it starts to wear on you. You kind of start to wonder what's wrong. However, as he follows the road, Kota finds a renewed spring in his step. A small smile curls his lips, and once more the rumbling of a hummed tune joins the sounds of nature filling the air around him. His heart feels light, lighter than it has in centuries, lighter than it has been ever since it first felt the scarring, searing pain of his loss. Perhaps this is hope, he thinks. Hope for the long-awaited end of his journey. He's looking for his long-lost love, that's my guess. Hot. So hot. But not the heat he has been craving. And sudden transition into darkness. Hot. So hot. But not the heat he has been craving. This is dry. Lifeless. This land is cursed. Is it gonna be the red dragon? Nope, it's Kota. Sorry, Kota, I'm sorry. The dragon trudges along the side of the highway, tongue lolling from his open mouth like a panting dog's. His supply of bottled water ran dry long ago, and now the sweat has completely dried from both his yukata and his brow, leaving the desolation of the desert around him to seep into his bones and his breast. It feels wrong to the dragon. I mean, this whole place is cursed. Just like slipping into the flowing stream earlier felt right. How long has it been since he left Jean behind? It swims away, a fish darting just out of reach of his fingers. He was there in the forest, and now he is here in the desert. And there, looming on the horizon, is the hotel the man told him about. It rises up from the other side of a hill, looking almost out of place in the sandy expanse stretching towards the horizon in every direction. The style is one that Kota hasn't seen in quite a long while, and the disrepair the building is in is readily apparent even from this distance. It wasn't like the dragon was expecting a bustling hub with polished and shiny doors, never having a chance to swing closed around the tide of travelers making their way in and out, but the place looks about as desolate as the surrounding desert. Give it time, we're still working on it, she's a fixer-upper. Still, Kota is here, and while the sight before him makes his heart sink just the smallest bit, the dragon still trudges onward. Down the sandy hill, working a sharp rock out of his sandal with his toes as he goes. Along the road, feeling the heat of the blacktop against the scales of his legs, curving slightly as he follows the driveway into the parking lot. You look terrible, my friend. Forward. Always forward. Kota struggles to make his way up the steps to the building's front door as the fatigue of his journey begins to set in. He has to stop, leaning against the wall to catch his breath. Up close, the hotel looks at least a little better. The dragon can see the places where effort has been made to patch up the worst of the wear. The repairs look fairly recent. Someone has to be here. Hi, yeah, it's me. I'm here with the Minotaur. That's me. I'm trying my best, okay? So don't judge me too much. With a final deep breath, Kota pushes the door open. Hello? The dragon barely recognizes his own voice, as dry and dusty as it is. He coughs, hacking and gasping and swallowing to wet his throat, and then tries again. Hello? Sir, are you all right? That's probably Minos. Before Kota can answer... sorry, not Minos, Asterion. What am I? Before Kota can answer, another coughing fit rocks his weary body. He feels a presence rush forward to wrap an arm around his back, and the dragon is led forward into the cool hotel lobby. His host lowers him into a chair. The world blinks for a moment, then a glass of water is pushed into Kota's hand. Kota haphazardly bows in gratitude before opening his maw wide to gulp down the cold liquid. It's not much, but that little bit of moisture settles into and revitalizes the dragon. He swallows, holds the glass out to be taken by a large, fur-covered hand, and looks up at his host. Please pardon my intrusion and forgive my shameful display. It is no trouble. I am happy to offer assistance. Thank you. The dragon takes a slow, deep breath, and then another, and another. The soreness settles into his weary limbs, fading slightly as it spreads through his body. Kota takes the opportunity to look around the hotel lobby, examining both the room and the hotel's apparent owner. Oh, pardon me. Welcome to the hotel, sir. I am Asterion, the keeper of this fine establishment. The master is otherwise occupied at the moment, but I would be happy to introduce you later. For now, please let me know if there is anything I can do for you, or any questions I can answer. Thank you very much, Mr. Asterion. I've heard about your hotel opening, and I wished to see it for myself. And I must say I am pleased. I have never seen a Minotaur in my life. I traveled all around the globe, seen all sorts of beings. But I always thought Minotaurs were only a legend. Well, there's only the one. This place truly must be special for such a rare specimen to be here. Although... The dragon looks around the empty lobby. The half-man, half-bull keeper seems able to easily read Kota's expression and offers him another low bow. Yes, the hotel reopened just recently, and we've only just started accepting guests. In fact, it's embarrassing to say, but you are among our first in a long while. Regardless, you are welcome to stay for as long as you'd like. The dragon hums in thought, letting his claws brush through and tug at his beard. The words Jean spoke at their parting, which had spurred him on through the trek along the desert road outside, tease against the back of his mind once more. Again he looks around the empty lobby, and then up to Asterion's face. Beneath his servile facade, the half-man, half-bull looks eager. His hooves clop faintly against the tile as he shifts from one to the other, and an almost childish earnestness flickers behind his polite smile, made no less friendly by the missing half of Asterion's face. The hotel seems to be about as run down as its keeper, but there's potential there. Hope. Thank you very much, I went Elvis there. Thank you very much, Mr. Asterion. I would be happy to stay for at least a little while. I have very little money, but I would be glad to perform any tasks you need that would allow me to earn a bed and a hot meal. That won't be necessary, sir. This is our soft opening, so we won't charge you. In fact, we charge very little regularly, so money is not an issue. As long as the hotel is able to fulfill its mission. Asterion moves to pick the ledger and a pen up off the front desk and brings it over to the dragon. Just sign here, and fill out a little bit of information. After a few moments of writing, the half-man, half-bull accepts the ledger back from Kota and looks over the new guest's information. Kota has been checked into the hotel. You can see your current guests on the guest screen in the menu, or clicking on the ledger icon. Aww. I got the hotel keeper, prisoner, eagle guys, calm river spirit from Japan. There's a goat, a wolf, an elephant, and another wolf. Or maybe a bear. We'll find out later. Mr. Kota, no surname, born February 2nd, 1615. I must say, you're looking very well for your age, sir. Kota blinks, frowns, holds his hand out for the ledger. Excuse me, may I see that for a moment? He looks over his writing. Jenna 1, 5th day of the 1st month, exactly the way he had written it. I did not realize that you could read Japanese, Mr. Asterion. Japanese, sir? And that's when it hits Kota. The shape of his tongue, as he had spoken to the Minotaur all this time, it seemed strange. And only now does he realize that after his coughing fit, he'd switched to his native tongue without realizing it. And yet, Asterion has been able to understand him. It's magic! In fact, the half-man, half-bull didn't even seem to realize that Kota was speaking another language. How? Ah, I see. I understand now. Don't be alarmed, sir. It is just a quirk of the hotel.
It allows us to understand all of the guests that pass through our doors, no matter what country they hail from or language they chose to speak. I myself am from the Mediterranean, far away from here, so you can rest assured that all guests are welcome no matter where they come from. I should also add, I can see you are a dragon. Enchantments do not work here, but worry not, that is allowed here. All who are lost are welcome.
He's just standing there, completely stunned, like, doesn't even know what to say. A place for wanderers indeed.
I see.
The dragon stands and offers Asterion a deep bow of his own. If what both Jean and this half-man, half-bull said is true, then perhaps this is exactly where Kota needs to be.
Thank you very much, Mr. Asterion. You honor me with your hospitality.
Asterion moves to set the ledger back on the front desk and returns to Kota with a key. He passes it to the dragon while giving Kota another welcoming smile. He's just so sweet. I would love him to death.
Here is your key, Mr. Kota. If you would like, I can show you to your room. We have literally an infinite number of them. I hope that you have an enjoyable stay with us.
Aw, we've got our first guest. Isn't that precious? And we're moving into Chapter 6, Housewarming. It has been an hour or so since Asterion left the lounge. The Minotaur had led you back to the hotel's hearth to check in on it. Everything seemed to be in working condition. You both did the rounds and inspected the hotel, the rooms, the stairways, the lobby, every lamp and switch and door you could find. Some of the walls were still cracked, windows were smashed, and there was water damage here and there. The sight displeased Asterion, but the hotel seemed to be repairing itself at an impressive rate. When do I get to manage the hotel? I thought that was part of this game. You both stopped at the lounge to take a break and celebrate a job well done. Asterion served your favorite drink again and, with your permission, took a glass of wine himself. After a brief chat, you checked the time only to notice your phone's battery was long dead. But the hotel has power now. You wished for a socket to plug your phone in, and after a blink, it materialized before you. Asterion was eager to resume the inspection. You were enjoying the break, so you let him continue without you. The time alone proved beneficial. So much has happened in the last few days. Meeting the old man, finding the hotel and the Minotaur inside, the altercation with Argas. You've literally been isolated from any friends and family you might have known. I mean, no one knows where you are right now. You dropped off the face of the earth. I hope you didn't have family, because, oh boy. After a drink and some time, you didn't feel as overwhelmed. All the craziness seemed to be under control. That's gonna change real quick, honey. You check in on your phone after spending a couple hours in an armchair by the hearth. It had barely charged 3% of the battery. It probably won't remain on for more than a minute. As you head back to the couch to sit down, you hear a sound that has grown familiar to you over these few days. Asterion's hooves clopping towards you. Gotta take a water break.
Good afternoon, Master.
Hello, Asterion. Are you done with your inspection? Did you find anything new? Any friends?
Well, I had to cut it short. I don't want to disturb you, but I have very good news.
Asterion walks up to you at a brisk and excited pace, and hands you the ledger. He stands there waiting for you to open it. He shifts his weight from hoof to hoof, and his tail switches back and forth in unison with his flicking ears. He's just like a little kid. He's so excited. Kota. Just Kota? Huh? Wait a second. 1615?
I was born many centuries ago as well, Master. Generally, our guests are human, but not all of them.
I'm still getting used to it, Asterion. I have to see this for myself now. You look like a kid on Christmas Eve, you know. He probably doesn't know what Christmas is. He's ancient Greek. Christianity wasn't invented yet.
Please excuse me, Master. I just haven't had guests in so long.
Well, I can't wait to meet this guy. I'm intrigued. You think he's in his room now?
I suppose so, yes. I'd rather not disturb the guests, but this is a special occasion, isn't it? Perhaps this one time.
You are about to head to the new guest room when you hear footsteps approaching the lounge. The footsteps are slow and even, carefully measured, as though the one approaching is taking his sweet time to take in his surroundings. I think our guest is coming to us. They are accompanied by a faint sound, keeping in time with each step. A quiet, simple tune hummed in a deep, rumbling voice. The melody is like the flowing of a stream, steady and constant, and the background music shifted to reflect that we're something oriental. When your first guest arrives at the lounge, his eyes are already wandering up and down to catch the grandeur and lingering decay of the place. He seems to be lost in thought as he examines the leather couches, the hearth, the tables, and chairs. It's only when Asterion clears his throat with a polite cough that the dragon seems to realize that you're there.
I trust the accommodations are to your liking, Mr. Kota.
Mr. Asterion, they are indeed, thank you. Forgive me, I was just looking around.
It's alright. Go on and make yourself at home. I'm completely lost and very much out of my depths. The dragon, Mr. Kota, looks over to you as you speak up. He offers you a low bow and a polite smile.
Thank you very much for the hospitality. I take it you're the master that Mr. Asterion mentioned at check-in?
Yes, I'm the owner. I'm Rukari. I'm realizing my name doesn't quite fit, but that's fine. The dragon's smile widens. He gives you another shallow bow while shaking your hand with a firm grip.
It is an honor, Master Rukari.
Yeah, sure, great. Please don't call me that. It's awkward. Asterion clears his throat again. Gaining the dragon's attention once more.
Is there anything I can get for you at this time, Mr. Kota? A meal or a drink, perhaps?
Oh, no, thank you very much, but as I said, I am just looking around right now. Perhaps later.
Very well.
I don't know how to make their voices sound different. I hope this is working.
Then, if I may be so bold as to ask, what do you think of our fine hotel so far?
It's nice, a little more run down than I had pictured, and I would have thought that there would already be guests. But I suppose that's what I get for getting my hopes up.
How dare you? You take that back right now. You made my baby boy sad, and I will punch you in your dragon snout. Dragon and dragon, let's go. Come on. East versus west. I will take you on.
I see.
The Minotaur tries to keep his face neutral, but you can tell that Kota's words have cut deep. The hotel is Asterion's pride and joy, and to have it criticized by the first guest in years like that must hurt. Oh. This is a tricky decision. I really want to defend Asterion, but I don't know what decision to make. If this were any other version of this, I would just save and go back. Is it a work in progress, or if you don't like it, you can leave? It's a work in progress. Is that the right answer? Is that what I want? What are my options? I don't want to... Okay, hold on. I don't want to upset Asterion by, like, blatantly kicking out our guest. Well, hey, it's a work in progress. You should have seen how it looked when I first got here. Nope. That's gonna make him sad. We're cheating. I know I'm cheating. Just ignore me. If it's not up to your standards, you're free to leave at any time. The door's right out there and down that hall. I'm pretty sure you won't find a better place for miles, but hey, if you want to head back out into the desert, it's your choice.
I sincerely apologize. I am ashamed to have insulted my gracious hosts so. Despite how things look now, I can tell that this was once a grand place. I can see the beauty of it, even under all the dust and decay. Although, if it's just the two of you, then I imagine that it will take quite a while to restore to its former glory. Are there no other staff here?
No, my gut instinct was right. Sometimes you gotta be a bit of a dick to people. It may surprise you, but Asterion and I can get a lot done. Still, yes, we are looking for people willing to join our staff. Asterion, can you tell Mr. Kota how things worked here back then?
Yes, before issues arose with the previous manager, it was quite common for guests to choose to remain here indefinitely. Most didn't have anywhere else to go, you see, and we can pay reasonably well, or we should soon enough, seeing as the hotel does not aim to generate profits. And the guests who join our staff get to enjoy all the hotel's facilities for as long as they want, free of charge.
Indeed.
The dragon begins brushing his claws through his long beard, looking from you to Asterion and back again. Finally, a spark of resolve shines in his eyes.
Mr. Asterion, back when I checked in, I offered my services in exchange for being allowed to stay. If you two are in need of staff, then I would be happy to help in any way that can repay the hospitality you two have shown me. I've worked many odd jobs over my years of traveling and have gained a variety of skills. Cooking, cleaning, a few years doing manual labor. I may not look it.
The dragon pats the round, firm rise of his belly with a laugh.
But my body is solid. I'm like a sumo dragon. I even spent a few months as a bartender back, 20 years ago? 30? Speaking honestly, I enjoyed that job the most. The conversations with others, tales swapped and secrets divulged to be kept in confidence. Finding the right drink for your customer, the one that would soothe their worries and help to ease their burdens, at least for the little time they spent at the counter.
This guy is very long-winded. The dragon's expression grows pensive, and his gaze distant. When you glance over to Asterion, you see a similar look in the Minotaur's eyes as he lets out a thoughtful hum. The moment is broken as Kota shakes himself out of his reverie. He gives you a rueful smile.
Forgive me. I get lost in reminiscence sometimes. My point is that I can do anything you need of me. I'm happy to help.
You can feel Asterion's eyes on you. When you glance to the bull, you see him silently begging your permission to speak. I told you could talk whatever you want! If you have something to say, then go ahead, Asterion.
Very well, Master Rukari. The lounge could use the services of a good bartender, though I can perform the role well enough. I do have other duties as keeper which come first. Management of the lounge has often been delegated to a suitable guest in the past. I think it would be in good hands with you behind the counter, Mr. Kota.
Well, then that works out perfectly. Free drinks whenever I want.
In the country of my birth, it was often said that fortune follows in the wake of dragons. Though I cannot benefit from it myself, I am happy to offer it to my gracious hosts.
Believe me, we can use all the good luck we can get. I think I'm kind of cursed personally, and he's definitely cursed. But before we get ahead of ourselves, I wanted to ask you something, Mr. Kota. You said earlier that you got your hopes up before coming here. What were you hoping to find?
I see nothing gets past you, Master Rukari.
You say nothing and allow the dragon to gather his thoughts.
For years, centuries now, I've been looking for something. Someone dear to me who was lost a long time ago. I've traveled the entire world searching for him, but so far I haven't had any luck, no matter where I've gone or how many people I've asked. When I heard about this hotel opening, I thought perhaps there would be someone here who could offer a lead in my search. This hotel is a place for wanderers to gather, is it not?
The dragon bows and his expression grows blank. However, you can see desperation flash in his eyes for just a moment. The desperation of a man who's come so close to his goal, only to have the rug pulled out from under him time and time again.
If you will allow me to stay here, to speak with the other guests and hear their tales of wandering, perhaps I will find the lead I've been searching for.
He's looking for his boyfriend. He's lost his boyfriend. And do you plan to leave once you found it? Again, the dragon's eyes flash.
Will I be allowed to?
Of course, this hotel was not meant to be a prison for anyone but me, of course. For the guests, at least. You will be free to leave once you've found what you are looking for, Mr. Kota. Or whenever you so wish, naturally.
I don't plan to disappear in the middle of the night if that worries you. I'll be sure to make arrangements so that my departure doesn't inconvenience you. I don't know how long it will be before I find what I'm looking for anyway. Until that time comes, I may as well do my part as your guest, right?
Again, you take a look at Asterion. It looks like the Minotaur has already made up his mind about taking Kota on as staff.
The hotel's mission is to take in those who are lost. Going by what you've told us tonight, it would seem you fit the bill. Are you willing and ready to uphold the hotel's mission and bow to the owner's authority?
What a weird way of putting it.
How formal. I haven't heard of a contract of service put in quite that way in centuries. It makes me feel nostalgic. As long as I am free to pursue my own agenda, then yes, for the duration of my stay in the hotel, I will happily serve in any way that I can.
Well, Sir Rukari, with your command, I can have it all arranged. What say you? Seeing as Master Kota swore our oath already, all you need to say is Mr. Kota. Hereby you are taken into this hotel as staff to fulfill its mission and to serve as manager of the lounge.
Okay? Fancy, huh? Very well, Kota, hereby you are taken as staff of this hotel to fulfill its mission and work as manager of the lounge. You offer your handshake. Kota takes your hands in both of his and once again gives you a low bow. His smile is placid, but his eyes are shining with an earnest light you hadn't noticed when you first met the dragon. And just like that, magic stuff happens, and now, boom, you are bound to my servitude. The lights in the hotel shift for a second right after you both let go of each other's hands.
What was that?
Worry not, Mr. Kota. It is just another quirk of the hotel. As you have been taken on as the staff member in charge of the lounge, you are hereby given free authority to shape it as you please. I have fond memories of this lounge's current layout, but the labyrinth has always shifted its appearance throughout the years. Maybe it's time to give it an update.
It could look more modern.
In truth, I can appreciate the way it looks. It's a thing of beauty, even as it is now.
He runs his clawed hand over the bar top. Again, the softly hummed tune rumbles in his throat.
Old and new, something that appeals to a traditional sensibility, and yet is welcoming to all types.
Mr. Kota?
Forgive me. I was lost in reminiscence again. I was thinking about the bar I used to work in. Would it be stepping beyond my bounds to give the lounge a personal touch?
Please, feel free.
Yeah, whatever you like. I'm not the interior decorator or anything. I barely know how to keep my own space functional, let alone fancy.
In that case, I think I have a few ideas that you may like.
Okay, yeah, do whatever you want to do, bud. One by one, the lights flicker as you approve Kota's requests. He looks to gauge your reaction to each change, as well as Asterion's.
Let's add a little more light, yes? Oh, but keep the dark wood. In fact, do you mind if we make it a little darker?
He's going full on. Feng Shui is Chinese. Is there a Japanese version of Feng Shui? Am I just mixing up all my Asiatic cultures? I'm gonna shut up now.
Some more seating would be nice, here and here. Oh, this area around the hearth would be perfect.
Please, Mr. Kota, my only request is that you don't alter that area too much.
Alright. How about over here, then?
Kota continues to add his own personal touch to the lounge. Lamps in the shape of paper lanterns hanging over the bar, traditional Japanese artwork on the walls, intricately folded napkins at every table. At least you don't have to hand fold them. Okay, I got the achievement Dragon Attack. I like that. I can dig it. By the time you are done, the old lounge has turned into a brightly lit restaurant that strikes a delicate balance between traditional and modern. Kota continues to examine every detail. It seems like he won't be satisfied until everything is exactly perfect. Asterion looks around, a thoughtful expression on the Minotaur's own face.
It looks...
amazing! Oh, they've got the Hiroshige painting on the back there, the waves. Good work, Mr. Kota. I'm always a big fan of a little bit of Japanese influence. I do love the art styles.
Oh, please. I suppose if I am to be staying here for a while, then just Kota will be alright.
In that case, just Rukari and Asterion will be alright for us.
Deal. Well, now I think this place is looking much better already. Warm, welcoming. If you don't mind me saying, it already feels like someplace I could call a home. At least for the time being.
a home. That sounds good to me. How about we have a drink to celebrate? We can tell you more about how things work around here and how they will work once we start getting more guests.
Kota goes over to the counter, grabs a beer mug, and returns to you.
Alright, I'll whip something up, shall I? I look forward to working with the both of you. Asterion, Rukari. Cheers!
Oh, that's lovely. And as we arrive on Chapter 7, I think this is as good a place to pause as any before we get just a little too far stuck into this. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series, hiccups and all. If you like it, leave a like. If you don't. I mean, it's entirely a matter of personal preference. I'm just gonna keep going until... I don't know. I'm just gonna keep going. That's what we do. We just go. Okay? Great. Alrighty. I got nothing else to say. Okay, thanks. Bye!